Welcome to the Cool Things Entrepreneurs Do podcast with your host, Tom Singer. In each episode, we explore the interesting lives of business leaders, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and others who have a healthy dose of the entrepreneurial spirit. It is time to explore something cool. Now, here is your host, Tom Singer.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Cool Things Entrepreneurs Do. Thank you so much for tuning in. I can't believe we are past the 370 episode mark now. The show just keeps growing. People are replying back with more interesting stuff. And if you've listened to a lot of shows, you know I try to shake it up with a lot of different people. Entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, business leaders, people in jobs, people of all ages, trying to cover all the generations. And today is absolutely no different. Today we have the youngest guest I have ever had, probably by more than half. I think the youngest guest I'd ever have was 18 years old. Today's guest on Cool Things Entrepreneurs Do is Neva Recla, and Neva is 8 years old. Now, she's somebody who I met at the New Media Summit, the first one that I went to last year, and then she was there at the second one. And not only is she an experienced entrepreneur at 8 years old, she's also the host of a podcast called Super Power Up Kids. Her mom hosts a podcast called Super Power Up, and she does the kids version of this show. And I got to tell you, when I see her on stage talking about her life experiences and the things that she's done, I think back to what I was doing at 8 years old, and it leaves me feeling like a total loser because I was not doing anything like Neva. I was not doing anything like Neva when I was 8 years old. So she's a pretty special kid. She's very unique. And so Neva Recla, welcome to Cool Things Entrepreneurs Do.
Well, thank you. I'm super excited to come on.
Well, so how does one become an entrepreneur at 8 years old? Let's find out a little bit about your history. How did this all begin?
Well, when I was 2, I saw that my parents had business cards, and I saw them handing them out, and I said, "Hey, Mommy, hey, Daddy, I want my own business cards. Can I have some?" The original answer was no, but then they said yes, and they realized I needed a business for the business cards. So that's how I started my whole 7 businesses.
So you've started 7 businesses. What was the first business?
First business. Ooh, that was a long time ago.
You were like 2. What were you doing at 2?
Well, a friend of mine handed me a big bag of Italian glass bracelets and said I could keep the profits and sell them. And I sold them for $10. And that's how I started my very first business.
Wow, that's awesome. So both your parents are entrepreneurs? Is that your example?
Yes.
So So how long have your parents been working for themselves? Have they always worked for themselves, or did they used to have corporate jobs?
Well, they used to be spies.
Oh, well, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, so that makes me a spy.
There you go. So now, what do your parents do? What's their jobs?
Well, my mom, like as you said before, she's the host of Super Power Up podcast, and she interviews amazing people, and she has superpower experts as her community. And then my dad, they both kind of work both businesses, and then they do Clear Business Directory, which makes sure that you're talking with people that are who they say they are and can do what they say they can do.
Ooh, that's probably really important. So let's look at what you're doing today. So we talked about how you got started. What's your business today? What does Neva do?
Well, I'm doing a podcast called Superpower Kids, and I've interviewed amazing people, and then I'm writing a book called When Pigs Fly, and it's the parent's guide to inspiring young entrepreneurs. And so I'm doing that, and then I'm also creating a course called Yes, Young Entrepreneur Secrets, and it's for parents and kids on how they can start an entrepreneurial journey.
So my assumption is, and I actually know the answer, but my assumption is you don't go to regular elementary school. That would probably drive you crazy.
Yes, it does. Because I'm homeschooled, and part of the reason I am homeschooled is because we used to travel so much and we couldn't find any schools that would allow it. And there was one school, fun fact, I lasted a day and a half.
A day and a half? What happened? How come it was only a day and a half?
It was you learn different languages, and I just didn't like it because it felt like a prison almost, because they had you, in order to go to the bathroom, you had to ring a bell, and then you had to be quiet like that, and hands behind your back and walk in a straight line. And any time that the parents came to pick us up, our backs had to be towards the walls.
Oh, that does sound like a prison.
It was so strict, and I remember how they told you things. Like, they said B in Spanish, and then they made a buzzing noise, and they made it look like their fingers were a B. And I didn't like it, and the toys weren't even fun. So the next day, I started crying. I'm like, no, I can't go back. So my parents are like, okay, we'll find you something else. So that's when I truly decided I wanted to be homeschooled.
So what's the hardest part about being homeschooled and at the same time trying to run a business? I mean, what's the hardest thing to balance?
I would say my free time, because sometimes I'll have back-to-back interviews and I'll be writing my book and stuff, and I'm also trying to manage all my learning on top of that and get free time because I like to play Minecraft and watch YouTube and stuff. So
you're a regular 8-year-old if you're playing Minecraft and watching YouTube.
Yeah.
So is it hard to have friends when you're like this business entrepreneur at 8 years old?
Well, if I'm honest with you, most of my friends are adults.
Oh, okay. So you like to hang out with the adults.
But I do have a few really nice kids around my age. I have a 10-year-old. She's an amazing, loyal friend. Her name's Callista. I have an 8-year-old friend. His name is Nicholas. And then I have a 4-year-old that I watch, and his name is Ryan. So he's like a little brother to me. And I have another friend who's the daughter of someone in the Superpower Experts community, and her name is Summer.
Nice. So let's talk a little bit about the book you're writing. So what was the name of it again?
When Pigs Fly.
So I love that title. I think that title is awesome. How come that's the title? I mean, I know what When Pigs Flies means. It means like it's never going to happen. And yet it's sort of a twist because you're telling people how to raise entrepreneurial kids.
Well, I believe that anyone can do anything that they set their mind to as long as they're focused on it. So that's part of the reason. And also because I'm going to make $1 million. My goal is to make $1 million before the end of 2018 and buy a teacup pig. He's going to be a micro mini pig, and name him Hamlet Chicharrones Recla.
Nice. How come Hamlet?
Hamlet, because ham is made from pigs.
Awesome. Better name him Hamlet than Omelet, actually, I think.
Yeah. It's more of a chicken name.
That's true. That's true. So you've been doing this kind of your whole life. Do other kids sometimes think you're weird?
Well, I hope they do, because in my house, being weird is like the best compliment anyone could ever say. So like if my friends, like if I'm dancing around and having fun, and they'll say, "You're weird," or "You're crazy," I'm like, "Thank you." And sometimes I just walk away. I'm like, "Oh, thanks." And I walk away.
So what do you love about this entrepreneurial life that you're sort of building? What's exciting about it at this point?
I like it because it's different, and also because I get to show people that kids can do anything as long as they set their mind to it and they're confident. And I'm also very confident within myself. So I think that showing adults, especially because sometimes adults don't necessarily believe that kids can do what adults can do. So I like showing adults that we can.
Sometimes adults don't believe they can do what adults are supposed to do. I mean, sometimes self-doubt's a big thing. So how did you get so much self-confidence at such a young age?
Because I was criticized, honestly. Because I had a business called Hot Clothes for Kids, and it was a fashion business where I do fashion reviews on clothes that I would get, and sometimes I would design them to make them hot, and one of my phrases was hot or not, so if they were not, I would try to make them hot. But I got a lot of criticism because I had the word hot in my business and because I was a 6-year-old wearing crop tops.
Ah, so people didn't like that.
No, but there was a lot of people that thought what I was doing was amazing. So with me, if I'm being criticized, I don't take it as a put down, but I take it as a chance to love myself even more and to be more and more confident, because because that shows me that those people that are criticizing me don't really love themselves, so they're trying to figure out, and sometimes they take it out on other people.
So there's people listening to the show who are 5 times or 6 times your age who can't take criticism. If they do something and someone thinks it's not right, or they put them down, they fall apart. So how would you tell an adult who doesn't like criticism just to get to the point where they can be like, oh, well?
Well, I think first they have to go through the criticism and be okay with that. Because me, I didn't like criticism at all. I used to cry because it really hurt me. And then I got to the point where I'm just like, okay, whatever. And if you love yourself, other people will love you, and they'll start managing their thoughts and feelings, and maybe you'll even teach them to love themselves so they don't criticize other people.
Oh, that's awesome. So what advice would you have for someone who wants to start their own business?
Well, like if you're scared, I would say definitely look at the things that scared you, but you did anyway. For example, I might be scared to start a new business or do something new. So I might look at example when I did indoor skydiving. I went 15 feet high up in the air. And I was super scared, but I did it because it was fun and exciting. And also just trust yourself that you'll be guided in the correct way. And think also about the things that you like to do. I talk a lot about this with parents in my book, that find something your kid wants to do and start teaching other people like how to do it, or start talking about what you like to do.
So one of the things that my daughter says is my daughter actually did a TEDx talk last year, and she calls it Think, Talk, Do. And she said, if you want to do something as a kid or a teenager, in her case, she said, think about it and decide if you like it. Then talk to your friends and parents and other people about it. And then go try little things and do it. And then you'll decide if it's the right thing to do on a bigger scale.
That's cool.
Yeah, she calls it Think, Talk, Do. So I think you're on you're on the same wavelength there as she is. So I've got some more questions for you because you're just fascinating. But first, I have to thank the sponsor of this episode. So this episode is brought to you by Podfly Productions. Podfly takes the time and the headache out of creating your own podcast. They do all the heavy lifting and the technical work so that you can focus on creating great content, growing your audience, and interviewing really cool people like Neva Recla. Hey, if you want to start a podcast, and I know that some of you do, especially if you're an 8-year-old listening, you're going to be like, I want to start a podcast. If Neva can have one, I want one. Jump over to podfly.net/coolthings and check out the offer that they have for the listeners of this show. So Neva, I called this show Cool Things Entrepreneurs Do. What's the coolest thing you're doing in your life right now?
To think about that. I do a lot of cool things.
Well, you can give one or two. Give me a couple of them.
Okay. I would say I'm doing my, I forgot to mention this, but it's my, I do a veterans tribute, and I draw pictures and write poems for wounded warriors and vets, and I go out with my sister and my mom and dad, and I hand out a bunch of these pictures and poems, and I get pictures with all of the veterans. We go to restaurants, we go to veterans hospitals, we go everywhere, early day till late night, and last year I handed out over 1,000 pictures.
Wow. I bet that makes some of those veterans really happy, doesn't it?
Yeah. I enjoy seeing the smile on people's faces.
So how many pictures do you have to draw before you go out and visit veterans?
Well, I draw one picture and then copy them all.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm not drawing 1,000 pictures.
I was going to say, it sounds like you're visiting a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I think that's awesome that you find a way to give back like that. That's a very, very cool thing. So,
Well, thank you.
So what's the most fun thing that you're doing this year?
Most fun thing? Ooh. Well, I'm launching my book. That's fun.
So when's the book going to come out?
In a few months,
Nice.
I would say.
Nice. Where are people going to
that's
be able to
exciting.
find? Where are people going to be able to find the book when it comes out? Is it going to be on Amazon and all the regular book places?
Well, I'd say it's probably, I'm going to try to get it out on Amazon and stuff. But also, if you want to sponsor it, you can go to my website, NevaLeeRecla.com, NevaLeeRecla.com.
So if people want to help sponsor your book, they can go to NevaRecla.com right now and help you get that book done. NevaLeeRecla.com. Okay, everybody, I'm calling the Cool Things Entrepreneurs Do team together. Somebody's got to go help sponsor her book. So jump over to NevaLeeRecla.com and help her get that book done. And don't say, oh, I don't know, because I'll just tell you, when pigs fly, go do it now. Don't wait till pigs fly, because you need to do that. You need to help her now so that pigs can fly with that book. So, Neva, I love to ask the people who come on the show, who is the person in the world of the entrepreneur sphere, who is the person that you admire, that you think, wow, she or he, they're doing cool things?
Well, I admire a lot of people.
Well, pick a couple.
I would say definitely my parents, my mom and my dad. All the new media summit people, because there's a lot of amazing people. I can't name everyone because that would
there was
take
too
a
many
long
of us.
time.
Yeah, no, we'd be here all day. There were too many of us there.
We would. And all the amazing people that I've met and just who have had a really big impact on my life.
That's awesome. So before we started this interview, you told me there was one question that I was not allowed to ask. You were very clear, too, because I was saying, is there anything you want to talk about? And you were like, oh, it's so great. I can go anywhere you ask. And here I am interviewing an 8-year-old. She's like, whatever you ask me is fine. However, do not, under any circumstance, ask me this one question. And that question was, she told me not to ask. So I'm not asking it. I'm just telling everybody what it was. I was told not to ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? How come that question is off the table? Because you're 8 and I'm 52. So the odds are the first thing I would ask an 8-year-old is, what do you want to be when you grow up? So why can I not ask you that?
Exactly. That's why I reminded you. Well, because I like to be in the moment, and I feel like planning 20, 15, 16 years ahead is like, that's nonsense to me. So I think just staying in the moment, taking baby steps, and when I'm 16, I'll figure it out. When I'm 20, I'll figure it out. But I like staying in the moment. I like thinking about all the amazing things that I'm doing now versus the amazing, exciting things I'll be doing in 20 years.
Well, my guess is you're still going to be doing amazing things in 20 years, but you're just going to cross those bridges when you get to them.
Yep.
So I interviewed a woman about 3 years ago on this show, and she and I have become very good friends. Her name is Dr. Debbie Gilboa. And she's actually one of the Today Show's parenting experts. And she recently was on the TV show The Doctors, because she herself is a medical doctor. She was one of the hosts on The Doctors for a couple days. And she has a saying. She's a parenting expert. And she says we shouldn't be asking kids, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Yes.
Yeah, she agrees with you. She would say you're absolutely right. What she says we should be asking kids is, what do you want to do first? Because there's so many things.
I like that idea.
Yep. It's not what do you want to be.
Love that idea.
Yep. Her name's Dr. Debbie Gilboa. She's awesome. She was on the show about 3 years ago, and she's coming back on here really soon. But her thing is that she went to college. She majored in drama and ended up graduating from Carnegie Mellon, which is one of the top drama departments in all of colleges in the country. And then she went on to work for Second City TV, which is a very famous production team out of Chicago. And then one day when she was about 28 or 29, she thought, how come I didn't major in biology? Because when I was younger, I thought I wanted to be a doctor. So in her late 20s, she called up a medical school and said, what do you have to do to apply? And they told her all the prerequisites. And one of the things you needed was a college degree, and hers was in drama. And she said, what does that have to be in? And the lady answered, in college. And they said, as long as you've taken science classes, it doesn't matter what your degree is in. So she went and took some extra science classes and took the MCATs and went on to become a doctor. And now she has a practice in Pittsburgh. And now she's becoming one of the leading experts on parenting in the country. And she's on the Today Show regularly. And I said she was on the Doctors. And she's kind of become a personality around this thing of raising great kids. So she and you would get along great, because she would tell you straight out, it's not what do you want to do when you grow up.
That's awesome.
So what do you want to do first? Because she's already done 2 or 3 things, and she'll probably do 2 or 3 more things after that.
Yep. I was actually interviewing someone, Dr. Reef Karim, and he's like a addiction expert, and we were talking about the word normal. And we both have the same opinion, and my opinion is it shouldn't be a part of someone's vocabulary. And that is because, what is normal? Like, explain it.
Right.
Yeah. So to me, I think just being weird or being you is okay. And his book is called Saying No to Normal.
I like that. So I'm going to have to look that up. So here's the other thing, is that you have this show called Super Powered Up Kids, and yet you're interviewing people on all types of adult subjects. I mean, I've looked at some of the stuff that you've talked about. You've got addiction experts. You've got some lady who is a sex expert. You've got all these different things. And so you're just interviewing, I mean, you're not just interviewing kids, you're interviewing adults about things and how do they talk to those things with kids.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm actually looking for more kids to interview.
So, you are. So you're looking for more kids. So if someone's listening and they've got a super powered up kid, should they get in touch with you?
Yes. You can actually go to 2 more of my websites. I have superpowerkids.com. So you'll find out all about my podcast there. And I also have youngentrepreneursecrets.com.
Ooh, I like Young Entrepreneurs Secrets. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
So give us one secret and then we'll let you go. What's one young entrepreneur secret?
There's a million. I would say just remember to be playful in your business. If you're not playful, no one's going to like it. And if you're not fun, no one's going to like it. So just be playful, be fun, be you. And remember, don't be normal.
I think that's great advice for everybody, not just for kids. I think we got to be more playful in our businesses. That was awesome. So,
thank you.
Hey, this has been a delight to have you on the show. I'm pretty sure that this is going to get a ton of social media shares and a ton of emails, because I think everybody's going to be like, no way, she was awesome. So if people want to get in touch with you, what's the easiest way for them to reach you?
You can email me, nevaleerecla@gmail.com. So you can email me, and then also you can go to my website.
That's perfect. Well, Neva, thank you so much for being a guest here on Cool Things Entrepreneurs Do. I'm sure if this show continues running for 10 years, we'll have you back on at your 18th birthday.
Awesome.
Awesome. Hey, and I say it every show, thanks to those of you who turned in. I think this was a special and unique episode. I hope you liked it as much as I did. If you like the show, follow us. Go subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts and leave a review. Those new reviews just make my whole day better. So why would you cheat me out of feeling better? Go leave a review on the show. And then you can find me and everything about my business at tomsinger.com. That's THOMSINGER.com. And we're on all the social medias under that and under Cool Things Entrepreneurs Do on Twitter at Cool Podcast. And we're going to be back in a couple of days with somebody just as cool as Neva. But in the meantime, I challenge you, go out there and have a great day.
Thank you for being part of the Cool Things Entrepreneurs Do podcast. Without your participation and listening to these conversations, there is no show. Connect with Tom at tomsinger.com and follow him on Twitter at tomsinger.